Hey, what's up guys, it's Milkshake here. Now today in this video, I'm going to be talking about KMS Odin, who got recently released alongside the Priority 3 ships in Azur lane.
戦艦オーディンだ。私は鉄血海軍の構想の中でのみ存在していた。運命が私とお前を出会わせたからには、お前を補佐し、お前の目標を実現することを我が使命としよう。
Alright, so now let's talk about KMS Odin. Now she's a priority battle cruiser from Iron Blood. She's voiced by Yuki Matsuoka, who voiced Fenrir from Grand Blue Fantasy, who coincidentally, just like Odin, have names that are based on Norse mythology. Fenrir was also the one that killed Odin during Ragnarok, which is really interesting to get the same person to voice these two characters. She also voiced Alisa Boskonovich from the Tekken series. In Azur lane, Odin is the only character that Yuki voiced as. Alright, so now let's talk about Odin's design. Now her design just screams power. She looks super badass, just like most of the Iron Blood ships. Now I feel that she's a mashup between Duslan's design and Grefspi's design. She does wield a sword. I'm not sure if those protruding at the back are swords as well, because they kinda look like sword hilts. Now despite her dark aura, she does have a rather sweet voice. She also gets flustered very easily, which is really cute.
了解した。これからはずっとお前を補佐し続ける。だから、ちょっと待って。これは、言っていたことと違うぞ。嫌なんてとんでもない。ただ心の準備が。とにかく考える時間を。
Now, Odin is named after the Norse god of the same name, and not surprisingly, she does have several references to Norse mythology. I'm gonna say this first, I find it very difficult to pronounce several Norse names, so I apologize if I pronounce any of them wrongly. So, one of her DOM animations is of her summoning Mjolnir. Now this is really cool, but Mjolnir belongs to Thor, not Odin. Odin actually wields a spear called Gungnir, but considering how popular Thor is in pop culture, I can see why they use Mjolnir instead of Gungnir. Now this may seem like a stretch, but her hair does cover one of her eyes. Now this may be a reference to how Odin wears an eye patch. This is because his eye was used in exchange for drinking Mimir's well, which is said to contain immense knowledge of the cosmos. Odin in Azur lane does mention how nobody can predict the future. However, this contradicts how Odin in Norse mythology is able to see into the future after drinking from Mimir's well.
人間の視野などたかが知れている。すべてを見渡せないからといって、人のせいにするんじゃないぞ。
Now this may also seem like a stretch, but in her voice lines, she does find it pointless to mourn for the dead.
死にゆく戦友のことを弔うか。進む足を止めて弔うばかりじゃ、戦争には勝てんよ。
Now this may be a reference to how Odin in Norse mythology oversees Valhalla, a place in the afterlife where half of those who died in battle go to. The other half is chosen by Freya to go to her afterlife location called Vogtvanger. Just like the myth, instead of mourning for the dead, Odin does use them to fight alongside him during the events of Ragnarok. Alright, so now let's talk about Odin's skills. Now her first skill is called Mimir's Keen Eyes. Changes this ship's position and decreases its damage taken by 20%. Every 15 seconds commences a sonar scan, revealing the locations of all enemy submarines for 10 seconds and decreasing your vanguard's damage taken from torpedoes by 15% for 10 seconds. Now this is a reference to all of the knowledge Odin gained after drinking from Mimir's well. Now this is a very interesting skill because it puts her in front of the flagship. This means you do not need to put her in the flagship position, so you can reserve it for other ships. Now even though this means she will take more damage for your flagship, her 20% damage reduction alongside her 7000 plus HP at level 120 makes her really tanky, so taking damage is not a big problem. Revealing submarine locations is really nice because this means you do not need to put sonar on your vanguard ships, which allows you to put other more important gear. The torpedo damage reduction is really good because in Azur lane, torpedoes are a pain to deal with, especially in auto. Because during auto, ships apparently like to walk into torpedoes for some reason. Her next skill is called Hertator's Rolling Thunder. Every 18 seconds, 75% chance to fire a special barrage, which damage is based on the skill's level. Changes this ship's torpedoes to parallel spread. Now this is a reference to Hertator, which is one of Odin's other names in Norse mythology. Now, her barrage is by far the coolest barrage ever, hands down. It's a freaking lightning bolt that passes through everything. Yes, everything. Now, even though the damage is not strong, it will do a lot of damage if there are many enemies on screen. She does have a high torpedo stat of 241 at level 120 with an insane 200% efficiency, which means she will do ×2 damage. Now, since the torpedoes are changed to parallel spread, it means there's a higher chance for the torpedoes to hit enemies since they always fire from the middle. At development level 10, she does gain 2 auxiliary guns. Now, both of them fire armor-piercing shells, can penetrate one enemy, and are very good against all armor types. However, the first one does fire fewer shots, but does have a much faster fire rate and a range of 90. The second one does fire more shots but fire much slower and have a range of 65, which is good against suicide boats. Now, I love the first gun because the range of 90 may not seem like much, but because she's in front of the flagship, this means she can hit enemies beyond the white line. This also means she can potentially fire non-stop in most battles. Now, this is insane because this increases her overall DPS to really high levels. As of right now, Odin does not have a skin, but I really do hope to see her have one in the future. Maybe we can have her, wearing some sort of Norse mythological outfit. I think that will be really awesome. Okay, so what are my thoughts of Odin? Now, she is monstrous. I mean, long range auxiliary gun, a barrage that tears through everything, high survivability, being able to protect your flagship, and attack beyond the white line? She's freaking awesome and amazing. Now, her auxiliary gun does have longer range than Bismarck, despite also having the same range of 90. Since most enemies hover back and forth from the line, Bismarck cannot consistently fire at them. However, Odin is able to do so because of the extra distance gain by being in front of the flagship. The best part about Odin is that she's universal because her skills are not restricted to any faction and everyone can get her because she's a priority ship. All you gotta do is just grind and grind and grind. Alright, so here are all of my thoughts about KMS Odin. What do you guys think? Do let me know down in the comment section down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Do leave a like if you guys like this video. Subscribe for more awesome content and I'll see you guys in the next video.